Hello, everybody. I'm Derek,
I'm Cole.
and welcome to the Ringside Ramble podcast. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about today.
Ooh,
Just news, WrestleMania, AEW having a big ratings pop. I saw. Talk about
mm-hmm,
that, um, and much more. I'm sure.
absolutely.
We're gonna kick things off today. Me and Cole talking about the unfortunate releases that has happened today. It seems like, I mean, hopefully this day doesn't become an annual thing because last year on the exact same day was the major releases. And this year, same thing. So far, the list that I can find is on the WWE website. Says WWE has come to terms with the release of Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, Bo Dallas, and Wesley Blake. I also saw Mojo Rawley added to that list. We'll talk about Samoa Joe probably the most, but Cole, what do you think about this list as a whole? And does anybody else other than Samoa Joe pop out to you at all?
Not necessarily. Personally, I heard a lot of names, a lot of unimportant names, but when you pop up Samoa Joe, I find that to be the most interesting because they do WrestleMania with Samoa Joe as the color commentator, and then immediately afterwards they let him go. It's like what they did with Jerry Briscoe last year. They had Jerry Briscoe as one of their agents, a longtime agent for WWE for the last 30 plus years, and out of nowhere they cut him loose. So it's rather interesting that they just keep cutting all these really really good guys out of the company.
When I saw this news come across, my jaw genuinely hit the floor. I mean, I'm speechless. I really don't understand how a company can get such talent and just
Waste them.
waste it. Waste it. And I talked about this in my quick reaction video I did to it. Samoa Joe is not in every name type of wrestler. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles currently is my favorite performer in the WWE. Now, I don't like what they have him doing as much right now, but as a pure performer, he's my favorite. Samoa Joe is pretty close. And for WWE to flat out just say, nah, we're going to release you. I don't understand. I don't get this company. It makes no sense. Like you said, he gets injured and they decide to move him to commentary, which cool, whatever. I mean, I wasn't a fan of it when it happened. But the latest I heard was that he was getting ready to be cleared to compete again and or has been cleared to compete again. And then you flat out release him? What is wrong with you? Just a few years ago, you had Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar in one of the hottest feuds of the year, probably the hottest feud of the year. Everybody who watches your stupid show was talking about how much they wanted to see that feud continue. And then you want to throw in a bunch of fatal four-way matches and triple threats, and you never give him a chance, and you never let him get himself over. The guy is one of the most talented wrestlers in the world, in the country, and you waste him. There is reason, no reason why Samoa Joe never held a world championship, whether if it be the WWE or the Universal. It makes no sense. And now you know what? He's going to go to AEW. He's going to go to your competitor, and he's going to be way better than anything you did with him because he's that talented. And Tony Khan sucks. I don't like Tony Khan. But you know what? Vince, you didn't just drop the ball on this one. You dropped the whole bag. Like when the gym teacher brings out the dodgeballs in that big bag. That's what Vince McMahon
That's
just did. He just dropped
mm-hmm.
all of them. All of them. Go ahead.
I don't know where to start. I mean, at this point, I could put it like this. It's like what Scott Steiner said once in a promo. This crap has become unsellable. Literally.
It's so bad.
This crap is unsellable.
And I didn't even hear anything about him wanting out. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he was causing trouble, you know. I don't know these details. But let me tell you something. If they just flat out said we don't want you anymore, Vince, time to hang him up. Time to hang him up. If you have one of the best talents on the face of the earth and you can't figure out what to do with him, especially when you have the crowd way behind him. I don't know if you remember that time.
Oh yeah.
He was the hottest thing in WWE. People wanted the title on him, not Brock. People wanted him to be the killer, the beast, that kind of a guy. But gosh. And now he's just gone.
Well, I don't even think it was a Vince decision. I think this is somebody up in corporate that started tooting their high horse. Really.
Do you think he's going to end up in AEW? Where do you think he's going to go?
100%. I think he's going to go in AEW. If he doesn't join commentator or something backstage, maybe a producer. And if he doesn't do that, he decides he wants to get back in the ring. I think Tony Khan will have absolutely no problem putting him in the ring, kicking everybody up and down the ring, and not a problem. I think Vince dropped the ball and Samoa Joe's, but if he goes AEW, I'm sure he's going to be cashing in very well.
Well, and like I said, the latest I heard was he was about ready to get back in the ring.
Mm-hmm. That'd have been really good.
Vince, your product sucks. It's almost unwatchable. Monday Night Raw is horrible. It's horrible. I've been a wrestling fan almost my whole life. And this is like the first time where I'm like, I'd rather watch anything else. And then you have this guy who you could bring back in a role. I'm not saying you got to throw him into your title picture, but bring him back and do something. Oh my gosh. It's just, I don't know how much longer they can keep this up. And you know what? The sad part is if Triple H was running things, he'd still be around and he would have been champion.
Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we would have saw the Samoa Joe that everybody knows is there.
Yeah. Just like when they fired Briscoe, I mean, you're the most loyal man in the whole company, and they just let him go like he was nothing. Ridiculous.
And then they use the excuse of money, and they're trying to save. It's like,
really,
I'm told that you're the most profitable right now in all of your history, your company's history. It's like,
this is exactly kind of what a lot of retailers are doing, like what Best Buy did to me recently when they cut me loose out of nowhere like that. I mean, they're making all this money, but we got to save all this money. Like it's like who's running the show? Like because it doesn't feel like the people that are supposed to be running the show are doing it right, or it's like they have no say. I don't even know at this point. It's ridiculous.
So as far as the other people on this list, the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, I don't know where they're gonna go. I see them. To me, they got Impact written all over them.
Yeah.
I think they're not my favorite, but I know a lot of people do enjoy them. I just don't see them in AEW really. I mean, to me, it seems like WWE and AEW are going to be the two spots everybody's going to want to go. But I do think their Impact I think they're going to go to Impact. Mickey James, I don't care about. She's crying about liberal stuff on Twitter. I couldn't care less. Um, Chelsea Green, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. I'm assuming it's an NXT, maybe. Tucker of Heavy Machinery, why break them up? If you're just going to release them, why would you break up one of your hot tag teams just to have no plan? Doesn't make sense. Kalisto, never really was a big fan of him. I think the problem is everybody tries to do this luchador copy Rey Mysterio's type stuff. Um, the guy in AEW, I can't remember his name. Um, he's like the only one right now that I actually enjoy, who does this kind of, Mexican style luchador wrestling, if that's what you want to call it. Um, so whatever. Bo Dallas, I think he's a guy.
So wait, hold on. Are you talking about Luchasaurus in AEW?
No,
Oh,
gosh, what's his name? Um, I'm gonna try to look it up here. AEW
Ray Phoenix.
Ray Phoenix. Yep,
Yeah.
that's who it is. Ray Phoenix. I really enjoy him. And when I started watching AEW, I was like, oh, here we go. Here's another, Ray Mysterio wannabe, especially with
Mhm.
Ray in his name, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he's a very talented performer, and
Right.
wrestler. I do enjoy him. But Bo Dallas, like I was saying, I think his character limited himself because that character he had when he was at his hottest, it's not something that would last. So I'm not surprised. It is kind of funny that Bray Wyatt is his brother. Um,
Mhm.
and they're just at completely different points in their career. It is what it is. But do you have any other thoughts on this list so far?
Not really, other than once again, corporate America is really screwing up and making some stupid decisions, and they got stupid people running the show all over again.
Yep. So unfortunately, these people are losing their jobs. Obviously, we're not happy that they essentially got fired. Um, but it's something that we need to talk about, so that's why we're talking about it. So,
Absolutely.
um, anyway, so WrestleMania happened. I did not get to watch night 1 live. I had to go back and rewatch it. I did watch night 2 live. Um, but so we're gonna start off with night 1. The night opened up with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. What did you think about this match?
Ooh, let's see. Well, I think we also forgot a lot of stuff. Let's see. We got night one, WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You're right.
So, when I was rewatching it a few minutes ago, I took a lot of notes. And I was decided to do a little thing called where I did a little match rating and a promo rating of 1 to 5. One being the absolute turd, five being ooh nice. So you got Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe on commentary. And first thing we find out is they're in a rain delay. Florida weather being absolute the most cooperative in the nation. Ooh, okay. So we go into a bunch of interviews, a bunch of promos, a bunch of interviews, blah. So we start off with Shane and Braun Strowman. And the first thing I'm like is just like, he's like, Shane, I ain't got a problem with a Braun. I don't think he's stupid at all. And all I see is this hair dye, the roids, boy wonder, just making a fool out of himself. So, and I kind of gave that a 1 out of 5 because it was just dismal. And then Lashley cuts in out of nowhere to just they go right into Bobby Lashley's promo. There's the saving grace. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, get boy Wonder on out of here. I'm not interested in this. And then all of a sudden, Drew cuts in, and it looks like to me, I was thinking I was watching something out of UFC, McGregor versus Mayweather. Yeah, I mean, and then I see a female ref. Like, WWE's got female refs. What?
Yeah.
The hell? And then we go right into another commentator team with Layfield, and it just seems so dead. It just seems so dead. No energy. Just blah. Like, I mean, Joe Biden could read a teleprompter better than those guys could. Like, goodness grief.
Well,
I'm just sitting here.
that's the problem right there, is they told these guys, hey, we don't have anything written up for you, so you're going to have to go out and do what you're actually supposed to be doing, which is your own stuff, because these writers don't know how to write anything good. And the majority of them, when you say, hey, go do something, they don't know what to do, because they're so limited that they can't actually, learn.
And the writing team ain't doing anything. So, and at that point, I'm just like, where's Hulk Hogan? Where's the interesting part? Then we go right into the New Day promo, and I feel like I'm back in the Georgia church. So we got a Southern preacher preaching and stuff. It just seems interesting. And the announcer in the back, anyway, the Scottish guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there. He's just like, get me out of this crap. And then we immediately go right into Braun Strowman and how Shane's bullying him. It just makes zero sense. And then Kevin Owens cuts a promo, and it sounds like Cornette, no. Let me take that back. I listened to Kevin Owens promo, and I'm like, man, Jimmy Cornette, for goodness sakes, man, get in there and teach these guys how to cut a promo. They sound stupid. They don't know what they're saying. You're like, what happened? And then all of a sudden some random interference frequency cuts in, and it just hurts my ears. Ugh. And they cut back to Byron Saxton missing in action because his mic died, and he got Michael Cole wearing this cheap plastic rain suit or whatever.
Yeah.
So they go, and then next thing we know, we go right into Bianca Belair, the genie. And you know what? That was probably the best promo of the night. Yeah. She can cut. Hey, at least she can cut a promo. We got that far, but she looks like a damn genie. And I saw the B in best, but I mean, I guess it's part of her gimmick, EST. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then Seth Rollins absolutely just I guess the girlfriend has been traded by a blow-up doll, because it just seemed like he was talking to little kids, and then he was like Cesaro, or I don't know, just botching that up. So, and then we get to Miz and Morrison, the good old boy from the countryside of Ohio. And you know what? And when I listened to that promo, it sounded like an old Stan Lane promo back in the 80s. I mean, it was like a nice little good heelish promo. Pretty good. We wait about 30. Go on.
Miz can usually cut a pretty decent promo, even with the garbage they give him.
Mm-hmm. And then 30 minutes in, we finally get to Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something, son. They had absolutely zero chemistry. The crowd was dead. And then Hulk, you could see the dentures Hulk's got now. And not only that, but it's raining like hell. And Hulk said there are 747s everywhere. I was like, goodness grief. And he got Titus O'Neil's suit just wetter than a shop rag. I don't even know. And then we finally go to Mike, and we finally get back to the announced team, and Literally, Michael Cole the whole time was just cutting to Samoa Joe, and Byron's just sitting there, clueless, useless, absolutely just he's just there for props and looks. They're not even using him. I mean, he's just there for the show. Other than that, it's really Michael Cole and Samoa Joe doing all the talking. So, all right.
And then Vince
Go right
comes
in.
out.
Oh yeah, Vince. Hey, Ellie, I mean, Vince. Like, obviously, Vince. We got the heavy makeup. I mean, it looks like 19th century British monarch with the heavy powder makeup, the Botox everywhere, and at least the good news is, Vince sounds gruff. He sounds exhausted. I mean, they literally had Vince out there for 30 seconds and they cut him loose.
I
They were like,
know.
Vince just got in and got out short and sweet, and that was it.
Kind of surprised me. I don't know. I thought, I mean, I liked that they did that. I know there was a lot of people saying, well, why do you have the heels and everybody together? Like, yes, I get it. But, given the fact how last year's WrestleMania was, inside of a building with nobody, and, I liked it, but I was surprised that they cut it that short. What did you think about the stage? What did you think about the big ship?
I mean, elaborate. I mean, that was the only good looking thing of the whole thing, honestly.
I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised,
Yeah,
honestly.
it
I
looked
mean,
nice.
given let's see, 2 years ago now, it was just a big screen, nothing, just
Yeah,
boring. I liked it. I like the aspect of all the cannons could fire, they
yeah.
weren't just props. I like that. So
They did a good. That's the one thing. That's the one thing they're good at is at least is the
production,
pyrographics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
All right.
anyway, night one kicked off with the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley defending against Drew McIntyre. What do you think about the match? I'll let you go first.
All right. Here we go. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. I was just sitting here like they're doing the main event first. What? Okay. So they got Drew McIntyre coming out in this kind of Thor looking entrance, like Thor's coming out to kick somebody up and down the ring, and they got the big sword and everything, like he's some god or something. And I'm just listening to entrance music, and I'll tell you what, man. I listen to entrance music from the Attitude Era, even the '80s with the Midnight Express, Jim Crockett Promotions, and all that. And I listen to the entrance music now, and I'm just like, can they make entrance music anymore? It just is terrible. So, and the best thing about the whole thing is the graphics. And then we bring in Bobby Lashley and his manager. And I'm watching the whole match. And first off, get the manager out of the way. Why is the manager all up in there in the middle of the whole thing? Get the manager out of the way. And the cameraman, get the cameraman out of there too. He don't know what he's doing either. So continuing on, and they keep flipping through the different camera angles, camera 3, 4, 5, they just cycle through it every 2 seconds. New camera angle, new camera angle, new camera angle. You can't keep track. They and not only that, but I'm just watching all these stunts. And goodness grief, it's just stunts galore. I mean, we're watching a circus all over again. That's what's become. And then you look in the background and you see the announcer standing right by the ring. Hey, what? Say, man, what happened to the announce table? What happened to the announce table? Where'd the announce table go? There's an announce table right there. All you got to do is just sit down and look at your monitor. What happened to the announce table? I don't know. And so then we get about 6 minutes, 7 minutes in. I didn't keep track. And they literally have a sit down match on the turnbuckle, just trading shots and continuing on. And then it's just kick out after kick out, and they kick out of the finish, keep kicking out. In a good match. If you're gonna do a long, 20-minute Broadway, whatever, why do we have 9, 10 kickouts? Why are we kicking out of finishes so much? This is, after 3, this is ridiculous. After three kickouts, it's just you just ruined the whole point of a kick out. As a way to warm up the match. So, I don't.
Yeah, I thought the match itself. I mean, there was a lot of speculation that Bianca Belair and Sasha was gonna be the main event, so I figured that this would open the show. Um, I'll say this: you could tell Drew was very happy to be in front of fans again.
Absolutely.
The match itself, to me, started slow.
And the match was dead.
I felt, yeah, I felt like they should have come out of the gate really, really. I don't know if energetic's the right word, but I mean they should have went at it as soon as the bell rang because, when this is the first major crowd in a long time, and you don't want to start off with a collar and elbow tie up. You want to start off with big move, get a big pop, and it just felt like it felt like they were trying to I don't know if learn how to wrestle in front of a crowd again is the right word, but it was just kind of a weird open to the match. I thought it picked up. I did like parts of it. Drew, to me, I thought for sure he was gonna win. So being the fact that I went back and rewatched it because I didn't watch it live. If I would have been watching it live, I would have said for sure Drew's going to win because they built the match like Drew was going to win. And, he did the Shawn Michaels kick up a few times, which, okay, now that Shawn's gone, obviously, it's cool that somebody uses it. I think it's it's something that's effective. You know what I mean? Um, It was all right. I mean, it wasn't my favorite match. I was disappointed for what I expected. Um, it went a little too long in my opinion. Um, I think the thing with Bobby to me is they don't let him. Well, I don't know if they don't let him, but it just seems like he doesn't take it to that next level in his matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, when you watch a Brock Lesnar match, even though it is obviously a work, um, it looks very physical. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
when you watch Brock Lesnar, you can't really tell. I mean, unless you've been watching the product for a while, you can't really tell that he's not seriously trying to hurt you. And I think Lashley has that same aspect, but they just don't. I don't know if it's he's too nice or what. It's just I want to see him go to that next level. And I know he has it because he used to fight in MMA. And when you have that background, you know how to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think this match could have been a whole lot more. It is what it is. As far as the finish itself, I agree. Kickouts, There were too many. Um, but the finish itself, they've been doing this a lot. They've been having Bobby not have people tap out, but have them pass out.
Yeah.
To me, isn't that the opposite? I would rather have people tap out quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I heard Cornette say, uh, why not have Bobby just throw him around? You know, that you put him in the hurt lock,
Exactly.
just have him rip people around, because I mean, from a TV perspective, you when you put somebody in that move, that full Nelson, it does not look like it hurts that bad. Like, it's
Mm-mm.
not like you're choking somebody out to where they pass out. I mean, it'd just be uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
instead of just doing that, why don't you whip them around, make it look physical and painful? And so whatever, Drew passes out. um Lashley retains. Lashley retaining is the right move for
Yeah.
sure. I didn't think they'd do it, because I thought that it was going to be a, hey, here you go, Drew, congratulations, we're going to give, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm happy. I hope he holds that championship, if not through SummerSlam. um Preferably, if it was up to me, I'd have him hold it till WrestleMania and have him face Brock in the main event, if it was me.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't see them doing that. So I hope he holds it at least till SummerSlam. But yeah, overall, if I had to rate it out of 5, I think I maybe give it a 3. I wasn't huge on that match, but
Yeah, that's what I gave it. I gave it a 3, and they also finish it off with an insult to injury with a cameraman looking. You got the good angle of Bobby Lashley out there cheering and Drew McIntyre sitting there crying on the steel steps. So
yeah,
nice
I
little
remember
insult,
that.
nice little insult to injury. All
So
right, so we go right into a little transition, and you got the NWO with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, X Pac, and you got Titus O'Neil's got a brand new suit on. Poof, out of nowhere, Titus O'Neil got a new suit. And I'll tell you what, Scott Hall looks old.
yeah, he
I
does.
mean, Scott Hall looks elderly. And he's probably, I think like in his 60s, I believe. I mean, which I guess you could say, I mean, that's old, but goodness grief. All that alcohol, that's what it does to you, kids. And I mean, and big sexy Kevin Nash. Yeah, I mean, he's looking absolutely fantastic for his age. And then in X Pac, what what is up with that haircut?
I know. I thought the same thing.
What is up with that haircut? I don't even know.
I thought, yeah, Nash got the stem cell treatment that Ryback's been doing, because I guess they were together in Colombia or something. Nash looks incredible. The others were, I mean, um, yeah, I mean, Hogan's
Put Scott
Hogan,
Hall on that. He
but
needs it.
yeah, Scott Hall. I mean, it was sad, because it not that long ago he was looking good still, you know,
Absolutely.
but I don't know. Um, do you even want to talk about this women's tag match? Because I really don't care.
Here we go. I gotta cut this. I gotta cut a promo on this one. Here we go. Tag
Go
team
ahead.
turmoil match. Better call it as a strip club match. Here we go. One team loses, another team joins. Last team standing wins. So we start off with team one, Lana and Naomi, and the blue light entrance is absolutely horrendous. And then we go team two and Billy Kay, and literally the first thing I thought, Florida, check. What's in Florida? Oh yeah, let me tell you, Disney World. Carmella and Billy Kay look like a couple Disney World employees.
And now Billy Kay is released after. just wrestling on your biggest show.
Exactly. So I guess they didn't like. I guess somebody didn't like Disney World. So here we go. And what first thing that starts off, I'm just like, what kind of pettiness crap with this cheerleading crap is this? Kicky cheerleading stunts. And then we go right into the backs. Oh Lord. And first thing off the bat is all of a sudden, what happened to the announcer team? What happened to Samoa Joe and Byron? What happened? Because next thing we see is it's just Michael Cole and Corey Graves. So, and then next thing they go right into some tornado spinny move stuff. And then the one thing I keep seeing over and over and over is a cold tag. They go right into a cold tag, and it was literally a 1 minute match, 1 minute roll up, throw them out of here. Next! Here we go. Team 3, Riot Squad comes in. The first thing we start seeing is Carmella. So we go right into a little back kick. And then, of course, one of them, I forgot who, but they got to oversell, and then one then throws a girl off the top rope. Okay, I know that was definitely a Riot Squad did that. And then, of course, cold tags. Goodness. Ay. And
I'm glad I didn't watch this because
dude, it gets better. And the worst part of it all, these girls, I don't even think they even went through developmental or anything. They didn't. I mean, it just seems like they just threw them right into the ring out of nowhere. Because the first thing I see is these girls can't sell worth a damn. I mean, I just see they just don't know how to sell a hit. It's so terrible. So
as
Riot
I
Squad,
as
go
I
on.
said, I'm glad I did not watch this match.
Hold
Waste
on.
of time.
I'm I'm just warming up. Here we go. Riot Squad wins this one. Okay. Team 4 comes in. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and she slips and busts her ass right on the ramp. And another thing I saw, aside from the fact that they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to throw a punch. It's like you're punching a Easter bunny or something, which we'll get in the Easter bunny here in a minute. Here we go. They can't throw a punch, and then finally we get into something good. They finally do a superplex and a fly off the top, and it actually looked pretty good. So Riot Squad wins again, and at this point, Riot Squad looks exhausted, like they haven't worked out in I don't know how long. And then here we go. Natalya and Tamina to Bret Hart's music, and the first thing I see is steroids, testosterone, and these girls looked huge compared to Riot Squad. I was like, oh Lord. Riot Squad goes through 2 tag teams, and next thing you know, they bring in the big girls. Oh crap. And then Natalya, of course, go. You're probably going to have to censor the hell out of this. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, YouTube's not gonna like that, but I'll edit it.
Here we go. Finally, a hot tag, and they get it. They finally get one hot tag, and then Natalya and Tamina win it all.
I was kind of surprised. Didn't think they would win, but also who cares?
Yeah, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I gave it like a 1 out of 5. It was just that was hard to watch.
Well, good news is it gets better after that.
Yes, it did. That's right.
Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Now, the build for this match didn't really care about, but the match itself I thought was pretty good. I mean, it felt like hey, on a wrestling show we finally have a real wrestling match.
Hmm.
And I mean, I'm not huge on Rollins's gimmick right now. But as far as the in-ring stuff, I thought they put on a great match. I liked Cesaro selling the whole, arms to beat up to do the swing. They built the match around that. Um, which I mean, I don't really understand the whole swing thing, but whatever. I mean, that's what's popular, so go with it. That's great. I thought it was really good. I think his uppercuts that he does, they look very effective. And I think he does it in a way that really makes them believable to an extent. You know what I mean? They just look good.
Hmm.
Um, the whole he did that helicopter spin or whatever. That I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. I don't know why. It was just because
Hmm.
when he's selling the arm, he just kind of throw him up there, spun around, whatever. Um, I wish he would change his finisher. The neutralizer to me does not look like a big deal. And he is such a strong guy, pound for pound. He's just lean and just strong. I wish he's got so much potential. I wish he would come up with something just better than that. Um I liked Rollins using the pedigree. I know he hasn't
Hmm.
used that for a while.
Yeah.
Um I'm trying to think what else happened in that match. Um, when Seth did the suplex into the Falcon Arrow, I did like that. I know listening to Cornette's review, he wasn't a fan of that, but I thought it was a nice um kind of double pop. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh, suplex," and then So
Hmm.
I mean, I liked it. Cesaro won. Right decision. About time. I really
Absolutely.
hope he wins either the Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble here soon. I know he re-signed his contract, so he is going to be around. I'm trying to think. I think that's really it for this match. Overall, I think it was one of maybe, I don't know if it is my favorite match of the whole pay-per-view, but I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 4.75.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it was a good match. So, I mean, they start off the one thing that made me laugh. They start off with a Seth Rollins political ad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The political ad, that was funny. Yeah, I mean, this match they got off to the races. They got a nice hot start. I mean, they got in and they got it on. And buddy, let me tell you what, it looked good. Then we go into the tornado with a sharpshooter, and I was a little puzzled for a second, but okay. And Seth Rollins did that top rope corkscrew, and woo wee, man, that looked great. I mean, that
Yeah, it did.
corkscrew 365, boom, wow. That was awesome. I will say he did a good job on that. And then next thing you know, when they cut to the camera, they cut to the instant replay, and on the side of the screen where they're not doing the instant replay, you can literally see Seth Rollins and Cesaro shooting the breeze and calling the next couple shots. So
Mhm.
I found that kind of funny. Um, one little issue I had again was again with the multiple kicking out of finishes over and over. Like goodness, again after three, he blew the whole thing. And then of course we keep, but like I like the whole thing with Cesaro doing the whole spinny tornado EF5 spin you around and around like a Ferris wheel type of
Mhm.
thing. But I felt like he overused it a little bit. Other than that, I mean, it was a good match. I definitely would give it a 4 out of 5 personally.
I really did enjoy it. I mean, it was what do you call that? A breath of fresh air.
Absolutely.
So, up next, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match, AJ and Omos versus the New Day. I'll let you go first on this one.
All right. So Omos and Styles versus the New Day. Um, where do we start? First thing I see is the New Day one. I forgot. I know Kofi Kingston's one of them. What's the other guy?
Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods. Hey, buddy, let me tell you something. This ain't Jackson State, baby. You ain't in the Sonic Boom of the South. Put the trombone away. You don't need it. This ain't, you ain't in Jackson State. Put the weight on the trombone. Come on. And then you got, and you know, I guess the one thing, not to be, you know, racist or anything, but you got AJ as the only white guy there. It just seemed a little.
It did.
To
It
me,
was kind of funny.
it was a little weird. It was kind of weird. Oh my goodness! And he was just kind of playing a manager in a sense for almost. I mean, goodness grief. And you know, and the weird thing is, almost came in looking like a security guard. Man, he looked like one of those big bouncers at these high dollar clubs. I mean, and I mean, he looked intimidating too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I was just still surprised. I mean, it was weird with the no wrestling gear thing. So
yeah, I was kind of surprised about that. I thought he would be in like some kind of not singlet, but kind of how Kevin Owens wrestles, you know, like yeah, something like that. But whatever. I mean, he looked.
He looked good. What can I say? All right, so we get started, and you know, Kofi Kingston's doing some twerky maneuvers while
I hated Xavier
Woods was just beating the crap out of AJ Styles, and then we go into some nice little flying routine. Okay. And basically, the one thing that that kind of cracked me up a little bit was the fact that Omos was standing there, chilling out, just keeping a straight look the whole time, and then you got AJ getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, he is just getting pummeled. I mean, AJ is first degree murder for AJ. It just, oh my goodness. And then they go into trolling AJ. AJ's over here trying to get the tag, and they go like, no, you can't have the tag. Oh, no, you almost had it. You got to be quicker next time. and then, I mean, they just kept trolling him, and oh my goodness. Finally, almost gets in. And here we go, the big bodyguard for AJ playing the manager now. Almost gets in, and boom. Uh-oh. He no-selled. Let's try another kick again. Ooh, that didn't work. Ooh. All of a sudden, you could just see a look on Kofi Kingston's face just drop. I mean, they were like, oh, crap. And here we go. And then almost starts cutting. The facial expressions on almost start to get really more intimidating. And ooh. And almost goes to town with these two guys, and he drops a backbreaker, and he is just torturing the crap out of the New Day. And I mean, it was very vindictive, honestly. Almost just tortured the crap out of them, and man. Whew. I mean, when almost got in, that was when it was like, here we go.
Yeah, this match to me, like, I understand the New Day's gimmick is meant for your younger audience, but I am so done with it. I mean, this has been going on for how many years now? And it's like, oh my gosh, why? Why? Kofi was just WWE champion 2 years ago. AJ's been WWE champion not that long ago. Why can't they be serious? Like, Kofi is such a great worker. Like, he does such good stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, why? I hate it so much. It was good when it first started, but now it's like embarrassing. Like, I wouldn't want to be with friends and turn this on and have them see that. Like, this is
Absolutely.
it's a joke. AJ selling for the New Day. What? I mean, I I I hated this match. I really did for the most part. Almost looked great. I thought I would have liked to seen him do more. I think
Yeah,
they
I'll agree with that.
they kind of kept him a little bit limited. Those backbreakers though. Whoo,
Oh,
whoo.
they look, oh, they look painful. I mean, now that look, those backbreakers looked absolutely pristine.
They did not look pretty to take at all. But that move, I forget I can't remember, was it an Alabama slam or whatever it was that put whoever took the pin. Um I don't know if that's his finisher or what, but I thought that looked really good. Um Overall, from his side of things, it wasn't bad. I just would have liked to seen more. The match itself, I would have given it a 1.5. I mean, I'm so tired of them treating former champions like jokes.
Really?
It's just whatever. AJ and Omos are your tag team champs. Cool. Hopefully they let them do stuff together. You know what I mean? Not AJ
Right.
look like a joke just to have Omos,
Hmm.
whatever. I did like the phenomenal forearm off of his shoulders. I thought that was kind of
Yeah,
creative.
that was good.
So yeah, I mean pretty much everything said there. It is what it is. You got anything else to say about that match?
No, I got what I wanted to say.
All right, so after that we had Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Um Steel cage match. I thought Braun physically looked incredible.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he looked great. Story itself sucked. Um, Shane, Shane was Shane. He bumped around. He was a stunt monkey. You know what I mean? I mean, I enjoyed the match. I don't know if it was my favorite necessarily. Um, I like the fact that they opened it with Elias and Riker, whatever, beating up on Braun. Um, I liked that. The pulling him through the cage or ripping the cage, I thought that was kind of a cool spot. Um, the bump Shane took from the top of the cage to the mat, that had to have uh, that had to have
Yeah.
been a rough one to take.
Oh yeah.
Um, Trying to think what else. That's oh my gosh, when Shane hit him with the toolbox. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Oh.
So, I mean, Braun wins. I was kind of surprised, but hopefully it means this feud is over.
I hope
Um,
so.
I hated the promo after. For all
Oh.
you who've been like, just leave it alone. Leave it
Mhm.
alone. You
Yeah.
won. Cool. I would have been fine with that. But as far as the match itself, I'd give it out of 5, I'd give it a solid 3, you know.
Mhm.
Wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I thought it was pretty all right. What'd you think about it?
All right. So Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, the cage match. Excuse me. Finally, we're back to the original announce team. Not only that, but we bring in Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, I thought
The
that was
King of
interesting.
Memphis. Here we go. I mean him and once again him and Michael Cole on commentary. Spot on, of course.
Yeah.
Uh, I wasn't really a huge fan of the whole of Shane's cronies coming in, beating the heck out of Braun, and then he needs a steel chair as the equalizer. And but the nice thing about it is that when Braun took the chair away, Shane was just running all around the ring trying to run away. He was like, "Uh-oh, my equalizer's gone." Uh, and then Braun, the one thing Braun said was, "Nowhere to run now, kid." And I was watching Shane wrestle that match, and if you go back and YouTube and stuff, and you watch an Eric Bischoff match, that's how it looked. It looked like Eric Bischoff, versus Stone Cold or something, just getting pummeled. It was funny. But the one thing I just kept seeing was the fact that Shane needed objects the whole time to beat Braun. I mean, I feel like there could have been more technical stuff that could have went down in the match rather than just Shane going on the top and getting a steel panel or something to beat down Braun. I mean,
Yeah,
goodness.
what the heck? How did he get a steel? Where did that even come from? Because it was just kind of like it looked like he pulled it off of the cage, but at the same time, like what part of the cage is that?
I don't even know. But when they finally took the steel panel away, Shane looked like Jim Cornette trying to get out of that cage. He's like, get me out of here. And it was funny. And then next thing you know, Braun Strowman plows Shane into the cage. And like they said, I'm like, Shane or Braun with a trash compactor. Boom, boom. It looked brutal. Once Braun got his hands, I mean, it literally to me it looked like a classic Cornette with some big guy, maybe like Road Warrior Animal or something, just getting pummeled over and over again. I mean, it looked great. Let's see. Shane does a nice little top rope move, but I mean, at 50 years old, man, he looked exhausted. And next thing you know, here we go. Shane calls in for backup with Braun knocking his goons off. And then Shane gets to the top. Out of the big white bag, boom, the freaking toolbox. I'm like, where did the toolbox come from?
They do repairs before the match.
Yeah, where did the toolbox come from? And that toolbox shot looked pretty rough. I mean, it sounded bad. Oof. I mean, it was boom. Oh goodness. I'm surprised Braun didn't get a concussion from that. I'm surprised. And then Shane's climbing over. He gets over the cage. Next thing you know, Braun rips the cage open and pulls Shane right in. And like Jim Ross would say, when Scott Steiner first came into the WWE back in 2002, I believe, I mean, this ain't just a butt kicking. This is an unscheduled butt kicking. He's getting thrown around all over the place. And here we go. I mean, all I start seeing again is a little flashback of Taker versus McFoley with Lawler on the hot commentary. And then the one line that stands out is Braun says, "Who's stupid now?"
Yeah.
And you can just see the camera look at Shane, and Shane just sitting there regretting his life decision. He's like, "Why did I do this to begin with?" So, Braun wins the match. I mean, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I felt like there could have been a lot more technical stuff rather than just Shane running around. It looked like a good flashback match, back to an old '80s Crockett deal with Cornette or something. But this is 2021. Unfortunately, not. I mean, unless you're a pure wrestling fan like us, not a lot of people really remember the golden days of wrestling. So I just think there could have been a lot more technical stuff that went down, but what can I say? Boy Wonder, well, he ain't so wonderful anymore.
Well, it was what it was. I just hope it's over with.
Right.
Next match, Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. Um, didn't really have any interest in watching it, but I did. Um, I thought it went a lot better than what I thought it would be.
Mhm.
I heard Damian Priest was injured, so that would make somewhat of sense why they wouldn't have him in the majority of the match, but still I was surprised that they trusted him, Bad Bunny at WrestleMania to kind of maybe not carry the match, but be the big vocal point of it.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people were super high on this match. I thought it was all right. Um, his punches looked horrible, but it is what it is. I mean, he's a rapper, he's not a wrestler. Um, but I mean, I was impressed for what it was. You could tell he was training and he cared
Hmm.
and great. He did what he was gonna do, and as expected, they won. Um, it is what it is. That's really my thoughts. It is what it is.
All right, so we get started with this match about Buddy and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. So we get started, and they bring Booker T in as a guest announcer now for Enemy, basically one of Bad Bunny's friends, of course. So we get into that. Bad Bunny, they open up with a bunch of bunnies running into the ring, and I was like,
Which we
"What?"
said was gonna happen.
Yeah, I was just like, "What is this?" And all I see is, man, they must have hired a bunch of people from Disney World to come in and do all that. Even the announcers were like, "What in the heck is going on? Like, what is this?" And then the one thing I saw, one of the bunnies lost an ear, and it was in the middle of the ring.
I didn't see that.
And then you got Miz and Morrison coming in on their entrance, mocking, doing some wrestling. I'm sorry, rapping stuff. That would even I wrote it down like this on my notes. A white guy from Ohio that with rap that would even make Wesley Swart from Big Walnut cringe. I mean, I
Jeez.
was like, I was like, what in the heck? Anyways, bring in Damian Priest and they give him a Kane like gimmick, and I feel or like that's what I kind of felt from it. Kane, a Kane
What do you think
esque.
about him? Because I'm a big fan of him. I think they should push him to championship
Yeah, I
someday.
think. I mean, I think Damian Priest looked good. I mean, I won't deny that. I mean, I
Because
think.
I watched him back in his Punishment Martinez days and back in Ring of Honor,
Mhm.
and I always thought this guy has the look. Like I remember watching Adam Cole
Yeah.
back in Ring of Honor and going, this guy's legit. I kind of had the same thing with now Damian Priest, but I think for what he did here, he must have been hurt, is my guess.
Yeah, that's the only thing. So here we go. Bad Bunny on the 18-wheeler ride from hell. It looks like he's, the way he's dressed, he looks like he's from coming out of Bad Boys 2 from Miami, about to raid Tapia's mansion. And also, how he has his hair done, where he has like the two knots mimicking bunny ears and stuff. Well,
Yes.
Bad Bunny was missing a bunny ear. So he shows up, and Miz, the first thing he wants is Bad Bunny. And Miz starts taunting Bad Bunny and all that. But next thing we know, Bad Bunny goes to the races, and and he surprises Miz. I mean, Miz was like, "Whoa, okay, this ain't gonna be no run of the mill little 5 minute walk away match. This seemed like, I mean, Bad Bunny came to fight." So, and then of course, and then Miz gets him down, and Miz does a little mock where he does a little bunny hop. I found that to be funny, to be honest. And then gives him the big boot to Bad Bunny. And of course, and then eventually, after once they get a hand of Bad Bunny, they start beating him to hell all over the ring and the announce table and everything. And then Booker T just sitting there like, "Suck it up, kid. Job, guys." That's what I heard. So, and then next thing you know, Bad Bunny gets the tag, I'm sorry, and they do a nice little double slam a little bit later on, which was actually really nice. And here we go again with the flying and gymnastics stuff everywhere. And then after they do all that, then you got Bunny on the top rope, and woo! And once they got Bunny off the top rope, flying into Miz and Morrison, the match got hot. I mean, in my opinion, the match got hot, and they've got him back in the ring. And then it's a bunch of breaking the count, and so and then Bunny does a nice little move later on around the end of the match. He does a really, really, really good move. I mean, and he's got a nickname for it now, the Bunny Destroyer. And I will say this, it looked good. It looked really good. And then when they do the cross plier off the top, ooh, that was now. I'll say that. I mean, the match kind of. I mean, at first it was kind of meh, but once the match really got to that hot point, it got hot and it started looking really good. Got that cross plier at the top, and boom, Bad Bunny wins. And I gave it a 3 out of 5. So I thought started off kind of meh, but I mean, around the end of the match, it looked good.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2.5. It was what it is. I didn't get to watch this match yet. I heard it was incredible.
It was pretty good.
The main event. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I didn't have time when I was rewatching night one, but Bianca Belair wins the women's championship or SmackDown, whatever, SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would, just because I think they need to build stars, and I think she's a star. So
yeah,
I don't have any thoughts because I haven't seen it, but I'm glad they gave her the title. So I'll let you share your thoughts on the match.
All right, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, the main event. SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. The first thing that popped in my mind was, man, those extensions are about to go flying off. and they start off without doing all these triple pole looks. I'm like, at this point in time, I'm already here. I'm just like, I've seen enough of the crappy comedy skit stuff. Let's just get the show on the road. And they're just sitting there doing this emotional crying. Oh my, this is the biggest match of my life. Stop the theatrics. Get to beating the crap out of each other. We've been waiting 3 hours for this. And here we go. We get started, and they do a little nice gymnastics. And next thing you see is the letters on Bianca Belair, on her little whip hair or whatever. I don't know what to call it. Whatever. And the letters start falling off. And then I forgot who, but one of them performs a baseball slide to the face, and oof, ouch. And now we're flying. Now Bianca dumps Sasha Banks back in the ring, and they're doing a lot of flying, and it looked good. And then she does. Then Bianca Belair does a little EST cheer, then clam. Oh, we got a problem. Those 30-inch extensions. has come back to haunt Bianca. And they do a little shoulder lock and ooh. And then in the middle of the match, and they go, "This match is sponsored by Snickers." I'm like, I
Did
don't
they
care.
say that?
Yes, they did.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sitting here like, I don't care. I got a Snickers bar right up my rear. I couldn't care less. Shut up and get to the match. What are we doing? Bianca then does an interception for the car crash slam, and the hair is back. And Sasha Banks plays with the hair, and now they're back into the bear. And then, Bianca picks up Sasha, throws her off, does a car crash slam. It looked good. And then Sasha starts pulling on Bianca's hair, and then Sasha goes flying into the barrier. And the next thing we see is after that, Bianca picks up Sasha, and I'll tell you what, Bianca's strong. Goodness gracious, that woman's got some strength. Mm-hmm. She picks up Bianca, walks, and she's holding her high above high above her head, like Goldberg did with Scott Steiner back in 1999 in WCW. And they get she walks up into the ring. And she tried to do a Tully Blanchard slam, like where they bounce her off the rope and power her through. And man, she did one on one side, another on one side, and then another on one side, and then boom. And man, it looked pretty. And then they go back into another tug of war match with Bianca Belair's hair. They're fucking crap. They're tugging on each other. They're pulling on that hair. Goodness grief. And then Bianca does a nice little flip on Sasha Banks into a shoulder, and then rams her into the turnbuckle with her shoulder. Banks with a big boot to the face. Bianca off the top rope for the knee, and then but like when she did the top rope, oh my goodness, this looked painful. Bianca had her Sasha Banks had her knees out. Bianca lands on the knees, and ooh, it looked like she cracked a rib. That looked bad when she landed on Sasha's knees. Oh no, that looked very bad. And then we go for a couple power bombs. And then Corey Graves, every time Bianca gets too big for her britches, Banks comes back and beats the crap out of her. And then we go into this move that they call the double springboard tornado DDT. Double springboard tornado DDT. Can we just stick with the simple stuff, please? Why are we doing all this gymnastic stuff? Stick with the simple things. We don't need all these gymnastics and flying. That's honestly probably one of the biggest issues I have with today's wrestling is all the theatrics and gymnastics. Stick with the basic, simple stuff. It ain't hard. But it would look so much better. And then next thing you know, Sasha Banks plows Bianca into the steel steps, and that looked like it hurt. And that long 30-inch extension braid, I started to really come back to hit her. And then next thing you know, Bianca does a top rope fly. Somersault onto Sasha Banks, and Sasha breaks the count, and Bianca's just sitting here, just looking at the camera like, I can't win. Why? Just cries like, I can't win. It looked like she saw a ghost. Goodness, honey, stop with the theatrics. Focus on the match. And then, of course, they get to another tug of war match with Bianca Belair's hair. And then she uses the hair as a horse whip. Ooh, that look. After that horse whip with the hair, It was 1, 2, 3. Bianca wins, and I mean, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a hot. I mean, aside from the theatrics, it was hot. It was a hot match. It was a good match.
Good. Well, I'll go back and watch it. Zoom's saying our meeting's closing here soon, so we're gonna have to wrap this up here quick. But like I said, we'll talk about night 2 more in our next one. So anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up so it doesn't cut off. So that's it for me. Thanks you guys for watching. Cole, anything you want to say?
No, I think I'll get into night 2 and what I got to say about that next time.
Okay, so we will have that out sometime soon. So again, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next one.